It is my distinct pleasure to welcome you to the first ever episode of Will It Build Warframe Edition, where you submit your builds to share with the world into my Discord server, linked in the description, and we try them live on stream. If we like them, you get a spin on the prize wheel, where the grand prize is Warframe Prime access. So, without further ado, let's get to the very first build of Will It Build Warframe Edition. So, our very first one is a submission from Staffo called Zaku Prime, the Golden Relic Runner. Now, obviously, you don't have to have Zaku Prime specifically to be able to do this build. If you have base Zaku, that will do just fine. But they say this is the comfy way for running relics, now with built-in aimbot. This is for those times where you can't be asked to care about trivial things like aiming when running relics. This isn't the fastest build, but I'd argue it's the comfiest. Warframe build in screenshot right down here with all the mods. And a lot of the great things with this build is that a lot of the things they recommend that would be considered more end game, a lot of things that a lot of players might not have, are indeed optional. They'll make the build better, but they are not required for the build to function properly. If you know me, if you've been watching my content for any time at all, you know that I rather speed ran my way to legendary rank 4, and as a consequence of that, I actually am not super knowledgeable on what a lot of the Warframes do, what a lot of their abilities do, a lot of their combos, a lot of their synergies, because I'm playing video games. I'm not going to read the abilities. I'm just going to slap the Warframe on, hit a bunch of buttons, and, you know, pray everything works out. So, first things first, before we start constructing this build, we need to figure out exactly what Zaku Prime does, so that we can understand how all of this is going to build together, how it's all going to work together, and so we can take advantage of this build to the fullest. So I'm going to hop into the simulacrum with Maria, and we're going to figure out all of Zaku's base abilities, all of their functionality, and all of their secret synergies. We should look at the passive first, right? The passive is 25% damage reduction on AoE attacks and a chance to avoid incoming weapon damage. So very simple and very nice. So the one is going to be Zata's Whisper, wield void damage for all attacks from equipped weapons when activated, which I'm told from Slowboat in the live chat that this is basically an extra multi-shot with the 26% void damage boost equipped. This ability is also their subsume if you do plug Zaku into the helmet. Zaku's 2, Grasp of Loke, where I kind of know a little bit what this does. Void tendrils steal weapons from nearby enemies to use as your own, floating, auto-targeting armament. Damage output increases based on enemy level. The number of weapons grabbed also determines the damage multiplier for the Lost Denny's Void Beam. This one is what I would assume would be the aimbot portion of what makes this build so comfortable and chill and easy. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is what, as you can see in the little preview image, a bunch of little guns going for you. So that's going to be very integral here. 3, the Lost. Cycle through a trio of Lost Warframe powers. Accuse manifests a void fissure to corrupt enemies into allies, so basically necromancer type stuff. Gaze grasps targets in void tendrils that capture damage and inflict it when the target is released, so basically kind of like a charging attack type thing. And Deny annihilates with a beam of void energy, wiping sentient resistances. And this right here, the Deny portion of the Lost ability, is what is determined by the number of weapons grabbed from the Grasp of Loke ability, the 2 it looks like. 4 is going to be the Vast on Time, where temporarily shed the outer pieces of Zaku in a destructive blast, then stalk the battlefield in a new, swifter skeletal form. Enemies damaged by the body shrapnel are rendered weaker to void damage. Zaku's other active abilities' duration is frozen in time and resumes once the Vast on Time expires. And I know this one's massive for keeping your 1 and 2 up as much as humanly possible, because whenever you cast it, your timers for 1 and 2 basically freeze, and then it just keeps them up a lot longer. So we got 20 enemies. So step 1, let's get a little comfy going on here. If I do my 2, that's gonna pull all of their guns, and then to the left of me, I've got a bunch of their guns. And it actually replicates the model of the gun that I'm currently holding, my turret, which is kind of neat. But the timer just ran out. But it's my understanding is what's cool is if I do my 2, it's up for 11 seconds, but then I do my 4, then the timer on my 2 gets frozen until the timer on my 4 goes away. So it's at 9.9 seconds, but it's actually not going down at all because my 4 is going to freeze that timer. And I'm told my 3 also. So the 3 is the one that looked a little complicated. So now you can see my little 3 bar over here. So as I do the click for the 3, that cycles between accuse, gaze, and deny. Is there one of these that I'm going to be using like 99% of the time? Am I going to want to be constantly rotating between the 3 of them? Is like what's okay, so gaze is going to be the primary one. Do I even want to bother with the other 2? Do I even want to bother with deny or accuse? Gaze to the armor strip. Okay, so now that I have gaze selected, I can hold 3 and that locks this fella up. What's Alrighty. There's a circle around the locked fella. Oh, that there is. Okay, so anyone in this circle has their armor stripped, basically. Oh yeah, you're right. Look at that. And then I'm assuming if I have my 4 active, that will also stop in time the timer of gaze, which thus will allow me to have this circle up for even longer. And then I can throw my 2. These guys have less armor. Oh, they are definitely dying faster. Look at that. Does the 1 increase the damage of my 2 guns? Or does my 1 only increase the damage of my actual weapons? Just our actual weapons. Okay. Invert ability press for gaze. That's not a bad idea. So I'm assuming you're referring to the fact that at the current moment, we have to hold 3 to activate gaze, whereas the regular click is to rotate the abilities. And you're saying to do invert tap/hold abilities. That's a very good tip if you're down for that. Me personally, it's already locked in my brain that you tap the ability to... you know what? I think it would be better. Oh, wow. You can do it on a Warframe to Warframe basis. So if I did inverted on Zaku and I hit confirm, save, and then it doesn't ruin any of my stuff for any of the other... I like that a lot. That's a great tip. So now let's tab back out here and let's get straight to the mod setup. So it looks like they have corrosive projection as the aura mod, which is going to juice our capacity to 44. We got overextended, primed continuity, and stretch. So overextended. Oh, this is nice. Our Zaku Prime. I've not formatted Zaku Prime at all. So Zaku Prime is going to come built in with 2 D polarity slots and a V polarity slot, which is really, really sweet. Our overextended is going to give us 90 bonus ability range at the cost of 60 ability strength. And what is range going to do for us at the current moment? It's going to extend the circle of our armor strip whenever we use gaze on a target. Going to increase the grab range and the range of our aimbot as well. So that's sweet. Does it up the max targets as well? Yeah, wow. So the max target, so it looks like the target counts, like how many guns you can pull, is 6 without any range buffs. But with that 190% range, it almost doubles the amount of guns we get. So that's really, really cool. We also wanted primed continuity. And I'm assuming, obviously, it's not going to be quite as good. But if you don't own primed continuity yet, regular continuity will do for now. But primed continuity is going to give us bonus ability duration. And again, I'm the world's worst LR4 player. I want to make that emphatically clear. So I'm not questioning this because I think I know better. I'm questioning this from a place of newbiness. Is primed continuity a big deal here? I mean, I guess it would be a big deal for if we subsume an ability because our 4 doesn't lock the time of that subsumed ability. But beyond extending the duration of our 4 to pause our abilities in time, are we really getting that much mileage out of primed continuity? Is it scaling anything that much? Good for the energy economy? Is the pure purpose of this just so you don't have to use your 4 quite as much? I can see that, I guess. I mean, we do have 8 mod slots, right? So it's not like I mean, at the end of the day, even if it's giving marginal benefits, those are still benefits. So I do understand that. And it is a very energy heavy ability. It's 100 cost. So I do understand that. I'm just asking because I'm trying to learn, not because I think I know better. And then I think we had stretch as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? So we're going to get even more ability range. So this is going to take our maximum gun count from 11 up to 14. So we've now over doubled our maximum gun count, which is really exciting, to be completely honest. I'm kind of pumped for this. Next, we have Augur Reach and Rolling Guard. So Augur Reach is going to give us... Oh, so it's even more ability range. So I suppose... I'm not sure if I would consider this a necessary part of the build. It's just going to increase your total turret count, right? So right now, we've got a total of 18 turrets available to us. This Augur Reach is going to bring us up to 15. I'm always a little bit confused about how these mods worked. The one with, like, the meters. The more you have, the more benefit you get. Oh, okay. So, like, if I throw on Augur Accord as well. Oh, it boosts the bottom one, the secondary ability. So right now it's 40% energy spent on abilities is converted into shields. If I put on a second mod from the set, now it's 80%. Okay, so the top one doesn't change at all. It's only the secondary one. So now our max targets is up to... So it takes our max targets from 14 up to 15. So if you don't have this mod, I feel like it's probably not that big of a deal. But obviously it gives you other bonuses as well to the gaze, armor strip circle, and stuff like that. Still helps a little bit, right? And then we've got Rolling Guard, as we said previously. So Rolling Guard, correct me if I'm wrong, this mod comes from the arbitration honors vendor in any of the relays purchased with Vitus Essence, correct? And this is basically the invincibility mod, right? On dodge, become invulnerable for 3 seconds and remove all status effects, and then it puts it on a 7-second cooldown. Obviously not a requirement for the aimbot turret feeling of this build, just in general, a very, very strong mod. Just really solid. At this point, we have 9 capacity remaining, so to fill up our other 3 mod slots, this will be the stage where we do have to slot in an Organ Reactor to double our mod capacity. If you don't want to spend an Organ Reactor on this build, I think you would have to instead grind out a couple of extra levels on your Zaku and polarize it. The beauty of these videos is you can watch the build and you can see it in action once we get it all kitted out. And if you're looking at it and you're like, dang, this looks really, really fun, I want to invest into this, then you can confidently make the decision of putting a potato into it. But if after watching the video, you're thinking that this build doesn't really fit you or your playstyle, then at least you know, and you don't have to invest resources into the build to be able to get that information. You can gather that information just from watching these Will It Build videos. Finally, we have, okay, so we've got Intensify, which is going to give us 30 extra ability strength. And that's going to take us from 40% up to 70%, get us a little bit back of the strength we lost from overextended. Now, what specifically is the strength doing for us here? Oh, so it looks like the main thing it's going to be doing for us is it's going to be increasing the defense reduction, aka the armor strip on his gaze. So previously we had it at 19%. When we throw on the Intensify, it takes it up to 35%. What did we have to round out? Fleeting Expertise and Primed Flow. Okay. So Fleeting Expertise is going to give us a bonus 50% ability efficiency at the cost of 50% ability duration. So that is kind of going to cancel out the primed continuity we have, just so that our 4 is going to cost half as much. And then we are going to round things out with Primed Flow for a bonus 185% energy max, which will take our energy from 251 all the way up to 715. So we are going to have no ability problems whatsoever. And previously someone asked why go Intensify over Umbral Intensify. And as far as I can tell, it looks like the reason we're going Intensify over Umbral Intensify is just because we genuinely don't have enough capacity to do Umbral Intensify over Intensify. But if you were to forma this frame one time and you could cut the half of primed, you could cut the cost of primed flow in half, that would give you 7 capacity back, which would give you enough to slot in Umbral Intensify. So you could go ahead and do that if you would like. They've got Power Drift for this, which is going to give us a 15% bonus to ability strength and 30% chance to resist knockdown. So we actually can't fit Power Drift at the current moment. So I guess if you want to do Power Drift up there, we'll need to forma once. And if we want to do Umbrella Intensify along with the Power Drift will need to form twice. Anyway, as I was saying, we're going to go with the Arcane Energize that they recommended and the... Was it Molt Efficiency? So Arcane Energize on energy pickup, 60% chance to replenish 150 energy to self and allies within 15 meters on a 15-second cooldown. And the Molt Efficiency is going to give us the buff where while shields are active, we're going to gain 6% ability duration per second up to a maximum of 36%. I honestly don't think either of these, I mean, these are definitely optional without a doubt. So if you don't have either of these arcanes, or even if you do and you think that something would work a little bit better, in my humble opinion, I think you could definitely go with some different arcanes. I feel like these are both a little bit overkill. Next, we've got the subsumes, the helmet ability. So they say subsumes are also optional, which is fantastic. I love it when things are simply optional, not required for the build to work, but just make it a little bit better. Though sentient wrath can be used to crowd control enemies, but also increase damage done through damage vulnerability. Zata's Whisper, the one, does nothing in this build, which makes sense because as we asked our live stream previously, the one is only going to add the damage bonus to our actual weapons, not our aimbot to stolen weapons, right? And if we come to our helmet, mine is named Potato, we have Sentient Wrath, which is going to be Caliban's subsumed, where, let's see, smash the ground, sending out a radial wave of destruction. Those not killed by the initial blast are helplessly lifted into the air, where they take amplified damage for a short time. Now, as you can see here, I do not have Sentient Wrath available as a subsume, and I would reckon that most of you don't as well, because Caliban is a pretty annoying frame to get, not only the first time to actually have the frame and level them up, but the second time as well to subsume them, because Caliban does not have a prime, so you need 2 of the base to be able to subsume Caliban, assuming you want to maintain your base Caliban for play. But they did say it was optional. So I'm going to take a little bit of creative liberty here, and I'm going to go ahead and install Roar, which is Rhino's subsume, a very easy one to get because Rhino is probably one of the easier frames to get in the game, where we're just simply put going to give damage increases to all of our stuff. So let's come back over here, take a little peek, and now we have got Roar, which is going to give us a 21% damage increase to all of our stuff. I'm wondering if there's an angle to try to get a little bit more ability strength into this build so that we can increase the damage of the Roar, but we'll get there when we get there. Maybe Nourish over Subsume. So Nourish is going to be Grendel's Subsume. Enemies that attack or are attacked suffer viral damage up to 1 stack, and energy sources provide more energy. These buffs extend to squad mates. And I'm being told that Nourish scales on duration, not strength, and we do have a lot of duration. So what I'm thinking is, let's try out a version of this with Roar, and then we'll try out another version of this with Nourish. Now, getting more into the build, recommended arcanes. I think they meant to say Archon shards, because we already did arcanes. 2 amber for more casting speed, and the rest is up to preference. Recommendation 3 crimson for power strength. I have not really farmed out many archon shards at all, so I am going to have to gloss over this, so I'll just trust them on this one. Weapons and companions are up to preference, though I'd recommend a Sahasa Kubrau with dig in order to gain some starting energy. And they said with dig. So I already have dig. The Kubrau sniffs out buried objects and digs them up with a 270% success chance. I wish I could be 270% successful at something. I also want to get a resourceful retriever. I like always having that on. And I'm a big fan of animal instinct. Get rid of ferocity. You don't want them to attack here. Oh, okay. Then we'll put that over there, and then we can move fast. Now you can see all my mods. Playstyles. Simply wait for your Kubrau to dig up some energy, pop your 4, find a group of enemies, and spam your 2 until you have max guns. Then just run through the mission and let the aimbot guns handle all of the work. Make sure to recast your 4 to extend the time of your 2. Also, your 4 can destroy containers, sabotage destructible parts, etc. Happy farming. Now, I want to test this build in 2 different places. Place number 1 is while running Void Relics, because that was the main selling point of this build, is that you can comfortably basically AFK while you're running Void Relics and just kind of chill out and relax a little bit. But place number 2 I want to test it is in Steel Path content to see how it hangs with some higher level enemies, and can the aimbot actually take out the higher level enemies. I want to test it out with the Roar variant. I want to test it out with the Nourish variant. And I just kind of want to see overall what we're working with, see if there's any improvements that we can make, and obviously answer that question. Will it build? So, let's get our energy up. Oh, I forgot. They said wait for the crew route to dig up energy. Well, thanks, buddy. And then we're going to get our gaze ready on our 3. And then we need to get to some enemies. And give me your guns. Give me your guns. And then we'll pop our 4 to freeze the timer of our guns. We'll pop our 1 so that our guns are damage buff. And we'll pop our 1. Or sorry, we'll pop our 3, our gaze, so we armor strip these enemies. And we're just going to kind of let it do its thing. Ow. Okay, so the damage is, it's okay. It's okay. I feel like we need more guns. Okay, so we might need to put a little bit of work into this for Steel Path content specifically. I mean, it's killing them. It's just taking, and let's keep in mind as well, I'm not shooting any of my guns right now. Purely the aimbot guns doing what they do. All right, now we kind of know what we got going on. Let's see how it fares in not Steel Path content. Like we said, this was marketed towards just running regular old relics on non-Steel Path stuff. So let's give that a test. So let's rip our 2. Keep spamming our 2. We have the max amount of guns, so we'll use our 4 to pause the timer. Let's hit our roar. And we're dead. I guess that's what the rolling guard is for, eh? Okay, we're back at max guns. Pop the 4. And okay, the guns are doing much more work. Get that roar active. And let's get our gaze selected so we can get our armor stripping circle. And let's just chill, actually. Let's chill for a second. Let the guns do their thing. And then let's recast our 4 so we maintain our timer on our guns. I mean, it's definitely working. And I mean, obviously, no one's going to actually be playing like this, where they're literally not shooting their own gun. So you combine this with your own weapon that you actually have. It's kind of, you know, this is kind of crazy because you only have to do gaze on one enemy and then just kind of stand next to it. So all the enemies run up to you and run into the armor stripping circle. The only ability that you have to worry about reactivating is Roar and your 4 here and there to pause timers on your other abilities. But once you have your 15 guns or whatever your maximum number of guns are, like you never have to worry about recollecting any of the guns. They do very respectable damage. This build does exactly what it was promised to do. I mean, the damage is very respectable. Before you get into Steel Path, I mean, this is probably one of the higher level missions you'll be doing relics on. Okay. Let's extract though, because I want to try this out with Nourish instead of Roar. Okay, so now we have Nourish. So we'll pop Nourish. We'll pop our 2, and we'll keep popping our 2 until we get 15 guns up there in the top right. Our current guns killed everything. Now we have 15, so now we can pop our 4. Let's get our gaze ready, so we have our armor strip going. I feel like we're killing things faster. Like, I can't even really look at the enemies before the guns kill them. I feel like Nourish is definitely going to be the play over Roar. I can't tell if it's placebo or not, but it feels like the Nourish is doing better. The guns themselves don't benefit from the bonus percentage damage from Nourish, but they do benefit from the viral proc from the hit retaliation. In essence, all Nourish is doing is being a way more limiting use of an Epitaph Prime slot. Try bringing a viral Epitaph Prime to prime the enemies, and it will kill much faster with Roar. Okay, so instead of going Nourish, we go Roar, but with a viral Epitaph. It's still feeling pretty good right now, though. I mean, I don't think I've even shot a bullet out of my actual gun so far this run. It's feeling pretty good. The play right now, and I think the build is very, very solid as we have demonstrated. Clearly, it has worked so far. but we make it a little bit better. So step one was we're going to switch back to config A, which is going to have our roar, but we're not going to quite give up on the viral procs that we would have had from Nourish in config B. We're going to introduce a different way that we can get those viral procs going. So we're going to stick with config A. We've got our roar, so we get that 21% damage buff. But now you guys are telling me that if we look towards Epitaph Prime, if we can get a viral Epitaph Prime going, then we can use the Epitaph Prime as a viral primer to get viral on everything. Plus, then we can still have the roar. If we go ahead and type in viral, fulmination is a huge help. Improves the blast radius of weapons with radial attacks. So we're gonna go sure shot here because sure shot is gonna give us a 90% status chance, and it's gonna do that at a lower cost. So we've got our viral, we've got our blast radius, we've got our status chance. And then in terms of our mods over here, I think we want to get a little bit more strength going, right? Because strength is not only going to boost the damage of our turrets, but it's also going to boost the armor strip from our 3, which is going to be very, very important if we want to tool this into something that is going to be effective in higher level content like Steel Path, right? I feel like we can lose the fleeting expertise a little bit just because we have so much energy. So I feel like we're allowed to drop that. And then Umbral Intensify, that's gonna get us to 165% strength, and Streamline's gonna kick up our efficiency a little bit more. I think I'm okay with what we have now. Now we have 82% armor strip. Molt Augmented. I only have a rank 3 Molt Augmented, so we're not going to get the best version. On kill, plus 0.16% ability strength, stacks up to 250 times. So now with this current setup, we have our roar, which is going to give us almost a 50% damage increase. We can still have a maximum of 15 turrets, although their damage is increased significantly now. Our armor strip is going to be 82%. And now we have our Epitaph Prime to slap viral onto all the enemies. Armor strip is 100. You have corrosive projection, so we don't really need our the gaze from our 3. We don't really need at all because we have 82% defense reduction from gaze plus 18% armor reduction from corrosive projection. So those add up to 100. So we can stick with the efficiency. I passed math classes. I'm dumb at Warframe, but I'm smart at math. Hold up. Before we rip the Steel Path relic, actually, originally we hopped into Steel Path E Prime on Earth, and we saw that well, let's just be honest, the killing was a little slow. Let's see how it is now. So roar, 4. Let's gaze this enemy. And then let's get our guns. We have our 15. And whoa! Oh, wait a minute! Oh, wait! Oh, we're cooking now! Dude, the armor strip is crazy! Wait, we haven't even done the Epitaph Prime for the viral proc primers. Oh my god, it's frying. Wait, this feels so good. Oh, get the roar back up, Mubby. I like that one. And that's with no Archon shards. That's with no specific weaponry. I mean, like, I know we did the viral epitaph, but I didn't really, like, even actually use the viral epitaph. Like, okay. That run is with no Archon shards, no Forma. All you need is a potato, these mods, and you're chilling. Would you guys say the Arcane Energize? And I mean, definitely quality of life, like they said, but I wouldn't say that they were required. That felt nice, dude. That was fun. Now, just a reminder, if you want to spin on this wheel and you want one of your builds featured in one of these episodes to share with the world, to share with the Warframe community, and a chance at one of these prizes, all you have to do is submit it in my Discord server, discord.gg/Mactics, or check it out linked in the description below. Grand prize here, Prime Access. Let's see what they get.
Hey, spin the wheel. Let's see what you get. Let's see what you get.
We've got them with a double Forma bundle. So that's going to be 6 Forma headed their way. Prime Access still on the table, up for grabs. Make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this episode of Will It Build and want to see future episodes. Make sure to submit your build in the Discord server linked in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a great day.